At the audiology office inside Sanford Health's Detroit Lakes Clinic, Melissa Duke is about to try out her new sound processor for the very first time. Duke has had hearing issues for most of her life. In middle school, surgery was required, and the scar tissue eventually caused some hearing loss. Still, Duke managed to live with it as best as she could. She now works at Sanford Bemidji, but the pandemic made her hearing problems more difficult to ignore.
Masks came, plexiglass came, and I was really good at hiding the fact that I couldn't hear. And when that started happening, it really affected me. I'd actually have to get up and leave because, I couldn't hear them. I'd have to have them repeat themselves, and it would frustrate the patient. I would get frustrated and just kind of down, and yeah, that was really hard.
Duke would end up going to Fargo and neuro-otologist Dr. Michael Shinners, who would eventually perform 2 surgeries.
There's a certain type of surgery, a type of mastoidectomy, where we remove some of the bone behind your ear, where you actually need to make the opening to the ear bigger so that you can clean their ear long term when they come into the office. The negative of that is it can make it hard to wear a hearing aid because the opening's bigger and it just doesn't fit well, or the sound escapes and it just doesn't work well.
That's what happened with Duke. Her ear infections went away, but when hearing aids didn't work for her, Dr. Shinners provided one more option: a bone conduction implant.
She has relatively decent hearing for her inner ear, and that's why we're still able to use it via bone conduction.
At the Sanford Detroit Lakes audiology offices, Duke tested her device alongside Doctor of Audiology Mary Richter.
So the processor that we programmed today sits on the outside of the head, but what Dr. Shinners had put in and what that's communicating to is the implant part that's underneath that. So there's a magnet right on the other side of the skin that processor transmits that sound to. But what that actually does is vibrates the implant portion, and that's what gets that sound down into her inner ear.
This receiver not only helps Duke hear better, but amazingly, it can be used with Bluetooth devices as well, allowing her to connect it to her phone or other devices. On her first day, she noticed some other advantages over her hearing aid too.
The sound is much better than I thought it would be. I'm not getting little things like paper crinkling. That was a big thing when I would wear my hearing aid. You can hear that paper crinkle or anything little like that, and it would kind of bother me, but I'm not hearing that.
Day 1 with her new hearing system has been a success, but Duke has plenty more to look forward to. She's an avid concert goer who says she can't wait to hear what live music sounds like. She's excited to take phone calls directly into her device too. But most importantly, she can't wait to feel more comfortable in her surroundings.
I hid it for a long time, and a lot of people didn't know I was hard of hearing. Only when certain situations came up, I would let people know. So I don't have to really worry about that anymore. So I'm not going to be missing anything, or even in conversations, sometimes I only heard bits and pieces and I'd have to try and put it together because I didn't hear a word. And usually that's a tone thing for me. So I'm hoping I won't have that, and I don't think I will because I've heard every single word.
In Fargo, Bemidji, and Detroit Lakes, I'm Jason Anschutz, Sanford Health News.